Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Instant Replay. I'm your host, Dave Garner, joining you on location this morning, my own version of Good Morning from the Office, if you will, here on this Monday, February the 25th, 2019. We appreciate you guys being with us. As always, the fastest online and only online hour of live sports talk in North Georgia each and every week, and we bring it to you right here on FYNTV.com. As always, we're highlighting and promoting student athletes in a positive way. We thank you for being with us. We'll throw it over to Luther Kinsey in our Team FYN Sports studio for you in just a moment. Josh Ross behind the glass today, and a little bit later in the show, we'll probably throw it over to Josh and let him talk a little spring training fresh from Orlando as the Braves get set to throw out the first ball of the season there. Of course, spring training action cranked up for Major League Baseball. How about that race yesterday at Atlanta Motor Speedway? Brad Keselowski, again, holding off Martin Truex Jr. to take the win at Atlanta Motor Speedway race weekend in Atlanta. Very exciting. We're going to have some more racing news later in the show involving one of our locals, again, getting set to take on NASCAR. Very exciting. We're going to talk about that later in the show. The Atlanta Legends still winless. Sunday was their home debut at Georgia State, the former Turner Field, but things did not go so well against the Birmingham Iron. So, again, now we have two losing football teams in Atlanta. I'm sorry, I hate to go there. You see all this Atlanta Falcon decor everywhere behind me. Again, it is what it is, but hopefully we can get things turned around. We're not going to be able to talk a lot about regional stuff today because we've got a ton of high school sports to talk about. We're still wrapping up wrestling. We're still wrapping up basketball. We've got a lot of things to talk about over this next hour or so. But before we jump in to some wrestling and hoops and also some next level and some coaching news, I want to throw it over to our very own Luther Kinsey of Team FYN Sports and Josh Ross, the man behind the glass today. Guys, talk a little bit about your weekend here.
Thanks, Dave. I have one word to say about my weekend: rain. Strictly 100% rain. But had a long talk with Mother Nature last night or yesterday morning, and we're friends again. So this will not be a weather report today. We will do sports, I promise. Josh, welcome back. It's been a long week at spring training. How did that go for you, and how hot was it down there?
Oh, it was pretty hot the day I came back. It was around 90 degrees when I left and got back here, and it was about 39, so that was quite the swing. Yeah, but it was a good week altogether.
Good deal. Well, like I said, we're glad you're back. I want to thank Lonnie for filling in for you last week. Did a great job. Kept us going, kept us on the show, and as far as I know, we didn't have any glitches or anything like that. So he filled in, did a very good job. Lonnie, I want to thank you so much for that. Dave, we do have an action-packed show today. Like you said, we've got tons of high school sports from Georgia and North Carolina. Great news out of North Carolina for the Murphy Bulldog fans. We'll bring that to you just a little bit later. Dave, how was your weekend? How did the weather affect your plans?
A little bit. We were in Kentucky, back home visiting the wife's parents, wife's family a little bit. It rained the whole time. We didn't see the sunshine until we drove back Sunday afternoon. So it is what it is. But that's part of it. I mean, especially this time of year. I just hate we haven't had a snow yet. We haven't had to worry about the snow days yet with the schools there. But we'll see how it goes. There maybe a little bit in the forecast next week. Maybe a little bit later on. Temperatures are expected to dip again. So we'll see how it goes here. Don't know if you guys heard me up top. We were talking a little bit about, I heard we had some audio issues there, but, Brad Keselowski, again, with the win at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're going to talk about one of our own local racers here who's getting set to make his splash into NASCAR. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Guys, let's go ahead and jump right on in. We've got a lot to talk about. I don't want to waste time. Let's talk about some wrestling. The Gilmer Bobcats, we all know what they did at the high school level, but they have made their mark on another state championship tournament. This time it was the freshman state tournament, and Gilmer sent 9 student athletes in there. Jacob Cruz with the 4th place finish, Owen Moss 2nd, and adding another state championship to the list was Dylan Galloway's here in 1st place there. Congratulations. I tell you, we talk a lot about the Bobcat wrestlers the Grapplers and what they've been able to accomplish this year, and it has trickled down into the younger ranks. We all know that you've got to build a program from the bottom up with the youth, and that's exactly what Gilmer and Pickens and some of our other local programs have done throughout the year. So congratulations there as the Bobcat Freshman Tournament claim a state championship as well individually, and several others sent to the podium there as they sent 9. Let's jump to our next level. Again, every time we have an athlete, a student athlete that makes their college choice known, we like to bring that to you. And over the last couple of weeks, we've shared several of our local student athletes who have indeed made their college choices known. And we've got one more to add to the list. But get this, folks, he's just a junior. That's right. Brady Moore of the Pickens Dragons baseball team is verbally committed to play next year, or after his senior season, I guess I should say, at Coastal Carolina. Again, he is just a junior, so Moore still has another year of high school left, but he is verbally committed and made his choice known that right now he intends to further his academic and athletic career at Coastal Carolina. Staying in Pickens, former Dragon pole vaulter Olivia Moore, now at Georgia Tech. She finished 11th at the ACC Indoor Pole Vaulting Championships recently. Congratulations to Olivia. One thing we like to do, and Luther, I know you'll back me up on this, we're going to try to make a better effort to follow our student athletes, not only once they sign a scholarship, but also once they get to that next level. We want to keep you guys, our viewers, in tune as to their progress and as to what's going on. So in an effort to do that, Olivia, we just wanted to share Olivia Moore, now at Georgia Tech, the Lady Jacket, again, finishing 11th overall at the ACC Indoor Pole Vaulting Championships recently. Congratulations to her. How about North Carolina next level? Luther, I'm going to throw it to you in a minute, too, and you can circle back around and touch on these as well. North Carolina, we've got some next level news for you. Sophomore offensive tackle, Yusef Margabil, 6'5", 300 pounds, has been contacted by several major D1 schools, including Duke, North Carolina, and NC State. As a sophomore, it seems like the sky is the limit for this young man. He's going to have a lot of different choices as long as he continues to work, and we are going to continue to keep you updated on his progress, but we thought that was neat to be able to share that. It'll be interesting to see just how many schools get into the recruiting mix over this young sophomore as recruiting gets younger and younger. Also, Murphy Bulldogs, as Luther said, we've got a lot of news out of North Carolina today. Hunter Shope signing with the University of North Carolina for football. Congratulations there. Micah Nelson signing with Western Carolina over in Cullahee. And also Keelia Oliver and Brianna Queen signing volleyball scholarships with Brevard University. Congratulations to those Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs right there who are indeed headed to the next level. And also, we do have some coaching news out of North Carolina. And Luther, I'm getting ready to bring you in here to talk a little bit about these signings and this coaching news. It does appear that, confirmed on February 5th, Coach David Gentry will be back. He will return for his 36th season as the head football coach of your Murphy Bulldogs. Wow, I tell you what, just an awesome bit of news right there. Coach Gentry, we know he's been at it for a long time, 35 years this past year, one of the all-time winningest coaches in North Carolina history, and news is that he will be back for year number 36. Luther, I want you to chime in and wrap all this up for us.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Hunter Shope and Micah Nelson signing. Hunter Shope signing from North Carolina. That's an amazing move. Great young man. Micah Nelson, originally a receiver. Murphy, North Carolina's quarterback. The Bulldogs quarterback left and basically quit the team for reasons that I do not know. I wish I could bring those to you. But he stepped in as quarterback. Had an amazing year last year. My first year being able to see them and cover them a little bit. Just awesome athlete. Both of those guys well deserved. I don't know the two young ladies that signed to Brevard University. Haven't met them. Haven't been able to get up there and cover any volleyball. Hopefully here real soon we will have a reporter of Murphy and be able to bring more coverage to our fans up there as well. It's Coach Gentry. What can you say? 35 years last year, entering his 36th year, over 400 wins, number 2 on the all-time North Carolina coaching list in victories. He will surpass that this year. I've had several opportunities to talk to him, interview him after the state championship game up at Duke University this past season. That the Bulldogs did win, overwhelmingly won. It was they were coming in real close, possibly even the underdog, and they shocked shocked everyone on the opposing team and their fans. So great coach, great man, 35 years, going into 36, as you said, and it's just amazing to see this young man. He loves his players, he loves the sport of football, and he loves Murphy Bulldogs across the board. So congratulations, Coach. I'm glad to see you back personally. I look forward to talking to you again. Yeah, Dave, as we get ready to close out our first segment, we do have a lot more from Murphy. Basketball news. We have some JV basketball news as well from Murphy. And I think if you'd like, I'll go ahead and take us to break. Folks, you're watching Team FYN Sports production of Instant Replay, North Georgia's only online live sports show, Facebook Live from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock every Monday. We look forward to you watching. If you have any comments or things that we're not catching, please feel free to contact us on our social media pages. You can do it via email. You can contact us via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, ever how you would like. We're at Team FYN Sports on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYN TV, Fetch Your News. We do have all our coach interviews, game highlights that we put up there, and many, many other things that you can just go on and check. Of course, email us at teamfynsports@fetchyournews.com. If we're missing someone in your family or friend, brother, cousin, grandson, granddaughter, please feel free to contact us. Email us that information. Send us a good picture with that, and we'll definitely get that up on our future shows. And you can call our studio line at 706-889-9700. We would love to have you call us there as well. If you're a coach from one of our covering schools or our areas in our 10 counties, we'd love to have a call. We can get you on the air and do our online interview right there with you as you call in. So we'd love to do that for you as well. That's going to do our first segment today. We'll be back for our second quarter, so to speak, or second period, since we will be covering some basketball. And stay tuned. We've got a lot of information to send out there for you. Josh?
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Welcome back to segment 2 of Instant Replay. Once again, it's North Georgia's only online hour live sports show. Luther Kinsey in studio. We've got Dave Garner, as I said a couple weeks ago, in parts unknown. We're doing a new system here. I think we've got most of the little bugs, if you want to call them, worked out. So it allows us to work, and Dave to work from a separate location and still be a part of the show. So we're really thankful for that. Dave, I'm going to toss it back to you and let you lead into our next segment and some of our information and see what we got going on there. And we're going to have to do something about the Atlanta Legend. We've got to find something out about them, make that work. So back to you, Dave.
Yeah, right now they're leaving a lot to be desired, those Legends. They're not living up to their name for sure, so hopefully they can turn things around. Luther, and I like the polo today, too. I like the black and red there. It looks good on you. I know you're a Tech fan, so, sporting those Georgia colors. Geez, we'll see about that. I'm sure you'll have something to say about that in a minute. Let's jump on into basketball here real quick. The Dawson County Tigers, the Lady Tigers, are headed to the Elite Eight. That's right. They're headed this week as they continue in the GHSA State Basketball Tournament. The boys knocked off Westminster 62-40. Tigers will play at home on Wednesday, the 27th, against Franklin County. Dawson is the number 1 seed in 7 AAA. Franklin is an at-large berth. So, again, that'll be a very interesting matchup right there. And, Luther, I'm going to get your thoughts on this, too. Make sure you have time to chime in. The girls, meanwhile, they're headed to the Elite Eight after a 62-55 win over Lovett last week. The Lady Tigers will travel tomorrow night, that being Tuesday, if you're watching the show live on Monday, to face Beach High School out of Savannah. Dawson's the 3 seed, but they have really moved on and played well, beating Lovett the other night, which is always tough, beating those private schools. We talk about Westminster, we talk about Lovett, but again, what a job. We felt like the Lady Tigers, again, we felt like they would come into the season and be dominant. They weren't necessarily as dominant, I think, as a lot of folks thought they might be. But here they are peaking at the right time, playing their best basketball when it counts. And you had a feeling that this team would be in a position to be in the position they're in this week. It was just a matter of seeing how they would respond in the tournament. And so here they are. Again, just an awesome effort there. GACA Association Players of the Year for 7 AAA for the boys, Luke Chisholm, and for the girls, Kaylee Sticker. She passed 1,500 points career this year. Just an awesome job there. Congratulations to Dawson Middle School as well. Their girls basketball team finished 14-0 this year in the Mountain League Championship. So the future looks bright, as does the current program for Dawson County, especially on the girls' side. And we've got some other news to pass along. But before we do that, Luther, I want to get your thoughts on Dawson. How about those Tigers and Lady Tigers now into the Elite Eight? Quickly, your thoughts.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, as you said, you kind of had that expectation that, Dawson County was going to come in on fire, both boys and girls. Coach Pittman of the boys teams has his boys team. Excuse me, it's Monday, folks. You have to forgive me. Still asleep, I believe. He's got his guys firing and focusing. And beating Westminster the other night, was just really, really cool. 62-40. Had to come from behind a little bit and fight it, but it was a great ball game for them. On the girls' side, as you mentioned, Dave, they beat Lovett, excuse me. And, of course, 62-55 in that game. So, 2 decent margins of victory for there, but they're fighting hard. The boys playing, against Franklin County this weekend, or I'm sorry, actually Wednesday night will be that game. Got a real good chance to move into the Final Four on that. Franklin County does have a good ball team, as you said, coming out as an at-large bid for it. For the playoffs there is, I've been around sports basically all my life, and I have never heard of an at-large bid, so I don't quite understand how that was determined. But, that should be a good ball game. But I believe Coach Pittman's going to have his guys going. On the girls' side for Dawson, we've got a tough matchup. Number 1 seed Beach High School. That's going to be pretty amazing. I think they had 1 loss this year, and I believe that was a non-region loss. So, it's going to be one of those situations where the Lady Tigers are going to have to step up. They really are. Kaylee Sticker, of course, you mentioned Player of the Year, GACA 7 AAA, 1,500 points. She's also a Clemson commit. So she is she's the one that has to control the game, control the team. Of course, I'm sure Beach will be double teaming her, things of that nature, be on her, try to keep her shots down to a minimum. But she's going to step up and have a good game, I believe. I'm looking for the Lady Tigers to pull the upset over the #1 Beach. And congratulations to the girls, middle school team, 14-0. Mountain State Championship or Mountain Championship. That's awesome. As you said, future's great. These young ladies are going to just move on in to the JV squad, and by the time when they get to high school, you may have some of these girls on varsity. They are really, really, really good program. They beat some great teams this year in that 14-0 perfect season. Other than that, I'm just glad it stopped raining, Dave.
Yeah, me too. At least for a while. We got a little blue sky right now, so that's nice. Hopefully that trend will continue throughout the week. Let's continue on with some basketball news. We're going to continue to follow, obviously, the Tigers and Lady Tigers' progress through the tournament. Maybe they'll bring home a state championship to Dawsonville. Wouldn't that be awesome to have one right here in our local area? Some youth basketball news to pass along. And Gilmer County coach Patrick McVeigh and his 12-and-under Bobcats are the 2019 Park and Rec District Class C champions. Wow. What a tournament right here. They will play in the state tournament starting March 1st at Gilmer. Again, Gilmer hosting the state tournament. It'll be at the Gilmer High School gym. Team FYN Sports will be live streaming the action for you on FYNTV.com starting Friday at 5 p.m. So, again, we want to encourage everyone not only to watch, but if you're able to get out there, please do that. We always like for people to watch us. Obviously, we love the viewership. We love the positive feedback. But, we want to see you guys out at the events. It makes the atmosphere better for the kids, and that's what we're all about. We're here to highlight and promote student athletes in a positive way at all ages, all levels. So, again, get on out there and support these guys as they play for the state championship coming up here. And it should be a lot of fun. Again, we do appreciate the coaches and, of course, Coach McVeigh for sharing that information with us as well. And just a reminder, as Luther said earlier, anytime you have information you'd like to share with us to get right here on the program, please do that. But this is just a reminder. This show right here, the Instant Replay, this is just a kind of an appetizer. It's kind of a highlight show. We hit on the highlights. But for full sports coverage, you can always go online and check out our various Team FYN sports pages, county by county, by going on line and watching that at FetcherNews.com. Again, we've got reporters on the ground in our local areas, writing stories, taking pictures, doing all those things. As Luther shared with you, we're also very active on social media. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those different mediums, because those are how we get the full story out to you. We're just showing you bits and pieces right here on this 1 hour that we have every Monday. But we do appreciate you guys being with us. And, of course, the show, if you're watching on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, it does air throughout the week as well. Let's talk some North Carolina basketball. Again, the Murphy boys, Bulldogs, they are Smoky Mountain Conference champions, and the girls as well. Again, Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs. Again, the Murphy boys will travel to #1 seeded Winston-Salem Prep on the 27th for the first round of the state playoffs. Meanwhile, the 3-seeded Lady Bulldogs will host their first round game on the 26th against 3-seeded Bradford Prep. The 7-seeded Hiwassee Dam girls will also host Swain County as well. So, again, they're in it. We do want to follow the Eagles, the Lady Eagles of Hiwassee Dam, for you as well. JV Murphy girls are the Smoky Mountain 1A Conference champions, by the way. So a lot of great basketball being played just across state lines with our North Carolina viewers, and we appreciate all those guys being on board with us. Man, what a basketball season it has been here, especially at the end of the season now as North Carolina gets set to crank it up. And one more bit of news before we end this second quarter part of the show, if you will. All-star news out of North Carolina. Luther said we had a lot out of North Carolina today, and we do. The West versus Midwest All-Star game has chosen these ladies to represent their schools. For Murphy, Bree Moore and Ellie Martin, and for Hayesville, the Yellow Jackets, Michaela Anderson, Savannah Annis, and Hailey Rickett. And Luther, I want to get your thoughts on that. Not only are the teams continuing into the postseason in North Carolina, they're also starting to receive some accolades as well from their respective seasons. Man, it's an exciting time right now for all of our North Carolina teams, as well as several from here in Georgia.
That is, I'll tell you, Murphy coming off a state championship in football. They're battling both boys and girls for basketball season to go to earn another state title. The JV girls winning the conference championship. It's an amazing Now, since I'm wearing red and black, and I know Murphy's not red and black, but Dave, I know you will love this. And a lot of fans who knows I'm a Tech fan and think I'm just totally crazy will be glad to hear this as well. It's a good time to be a Bulldog. Okay, not the red and black Bulldogs, but it's a good time to be a Murphy Bulldog. Congratulations to all those. Keep fighting. We're pulling for you here at Team FYN Sports. Being recognized, for the All-Star game, it's an honor. It's definitely an honor to be chosen. It shows that people outside of your school and your fan base are recognizing that your skills and ability on the court are great and just really good. And these ladies deserve to be there. I don't have a date on that game, but I will find out, and I'll keep everyone updated on it. Of course, we'll bring it live on the show live here and let you know how that turned out and how these young ladies did. As Dave said, we're going to end our second segment now and take a little brief break to let all our sponsors get some time in. Folks, when you see these sponsors on here, do business with them. Do business with them. They're spending their hard-earned money for advertising with us, and we want to support them, and we want you to support them as well. So if there's one of these areas in our area, please feel free to go call them, tell them you saw their ad on Team FYN Sports. Let them know that their dollars they're spending is going to do good. It's bringing back the customer base that they really want to get. So thanks again to all our sponsors as well for coming on. So Josh, if you'll take us out, please.
It's truck season at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and that means it's time to haul home a payload of savings. Now save up to $6,700 off new Chevy Colorados at Days, or save up to $10,000 off new Chevy Silverado 1500 crew cabs. If Chevy makes the truck, we've got it, and you're going to save big during truck season. Going on right now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Well, we've already had an action-packed first half hour here of the instant replay. Thanks for being with us. Once again, I'm your co-host, Dave Garner, also joined by Luther Kinsey in our Team FYN Sports studio. Josh Ross behind the glass today. And coming up a little bit later on in the show, we'll have a spring training update on those Braves. Our very own Josh will bring us a little bit of a report there, and also some local racing news as well. We'll share that with you coming up in our fourth quarter segment of the program. Right now, though, I want to transition. We've talked a lot about basketball and wrestling as we continue to put the finishing touches on the winter season, but I also want to share some spring news with you as well, because we are rapidly transitioning into the spring season, and that means a full slate of baseball, soccer, track, tennis, golf, you name it. Now, the weather, obviously, as Luther talked about, affecting our spring schedules last week. Several cancellations, and this time of year it's par for the course. You always have a log jam of makeups at some point towards the end of the season. It's just the way it is. That's the nature of spring sports, especially in the state of Georgia. So again, we're already seeing the effects of Mother Nature here in the early part of the spring season. However, that said, we did get a lot of good baseball action in last week. The Pickens Dragons, they were able to avoid the weather a little bit because they traveled to Brunswick and they beat Brunswick 3-0. 1 run in the first and 2 runs in the 7th inning. Colby James with a complete game shutout there as the Dragons win. They would fall in game 2 to South Effingham 8-7, but the Dragons with a busy week ahead this week. They've got Murray County on Tuesday and then at home on Wednesday against Denmark. First pitch just prior to 6 o'clock there again. During the week, they have those rules. You have to throw the first pitch before 6 o'clock on a school night. So you're going to see a lot of 5:55 starts. Just so you know, for those that are kind of new to the spring sports scene, a lot of the first pitches will be thrown at 5:55 throughout the week for high school baseball. How about the Gilmer Bobcats? Last Monday, the Bobcats played host to Murray County and ended up being really the only game that they were able to play last week. And they got an 8-1 win, did the Cats, off the arm of Jonas Griggs. Boy, he had a great game, 12 strikeouts, allowing just 1 run to the Indians in his appearance. And again, coming off of an injury last season, it was great to see Austin Damon out there as well in relief of the 7th inning. Just threw a few pitches, was able to sit Murray County down quickly in order with a strikeout. This week, again, and I'm looking out the window here, nature permitting, we're going to have a good, busy week of high school baseball. The Bobcats, again, basically with games Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday if the weather holds. So, again, lots of action going on for the Bobcats on the diamond. Let's talk a little bit about Fannin. And again, Luther, I'm going to let you chime in here in a minute and talk about these guys as we circle back around here in our third quarter segment. The Rebels, what a start to the season for Fannin. Man, these guys have been fun to watch already. They have been a scoring machine, throwing up all kinds of runs. They've outscored their opponents, and this according to Luther. So I don't want to take away your thunder. I'll let you chime in on this, but 71-27. In 8 ball games, the Rebels have outscored their opponents. In these 8 games, the Rebels are 7-1. Their lone loss was to Vidalia this past Saturday. But next up for the Rebels will be Union on Monday, today if you're watching on the 25th. And then they've got a doubleheader at Calhoun this weekend, so they have a little bit of time off before that doubleheader on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Union County Panthers, the rain did affect the start of the Panthers season. They have gotten off to an 0-2 start. But it's very early. Both losses come into Commerce, 4-1 and 2-0. Very competitive, though. Commerce, pretty good ball team there. Panthers have a matchup with Fannin coming up here pretty soon. So that's going to be a doubleheader, followed by a doubleheader with Banks County. So a lot of region, and non-region competition here early in the season for the Panthers. Should be a lot of fun. How about the Dawson County Tigers? They fell to Chestatee back on the 13th, and they will look to rebound this week with a couple of matchups with Mount Bethel. And also, I guess they've got Mount Bethel Monday and Wednesday, it looks like here. Thursday at Chestatee, looking to avenge that 4-0 loss. So a lot of baseball going on right now. Luther, how about the transition into the spring season? I know, as you said, a lot of rain last week, washed out a lot of our spring sports, but hopefully they'll be able to get in a lot of action this week.
Dave, I'm going to start it with this. Rain. That summarizes last week as we talked about. I don't know if our viewers can hear that or not. I'm hoping they can. I'm done with the rain sounds. As you can see right here, I'm stopping the rain. I've talked to Mother Nature, just got off the phone with her. As I said earlier, we're friends again. We talked last night. No rain this week. We're going to hold that out. We're going to get some baseball in for our fans. So let's jump straight to talking about Fannin, 71-27, outscoring their opponents. You've got 14-0 over Gilmer, 3-0 over, hold on, I hate computers sometimes. So we got 14-1 over Gilmer, 3-0 over Gainesville, 10-8 Sandy Creek, 9-7 Riverwood, 13-5 over Noonan, 5-4 on Vidalia, and their only loss. So, yeah, it's been an amazing, amazing start for the Fannin Rebels. Hunter Gray on fire, on the mound and at the bat. Just everybody, they're firing. They're firing on all cylinders. If the rain will hold off and we can get some games in, we'll be good. Of course, Fannin avoided the rain some too by traveling. Baseball at the beach, they played Gainesville, Sandy Creek, Riverwood, and down at part of the GDC tournament down at Noonan is where they beat Noonan and lost to Vidalia over the weekend. So they were smart. They saw the forecast. They were good friends, with a lot of the weather forecasters, and they just went south. They're like the geese. They flew south for the spring. So it was great. Really good season for them. I mean, you can't go wrong. As a Rebel right now, you've got Union and Gilmer and Dawson. Dawson's got a slow start. Chestatee has a real good program. Of course, with the 4-0 loss there, they get to avenge that loss this week as well. Gilmer, they have a full schedule of both varsity and JV. As you said, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tuesday and Thursday, both JV teams play as well. Got to try to get out to one of the JV games. Gilmer baseball has their first ever young lady playing baseball. And I'm trying to set up an interview this week with Coach Thurman of the Gilmer Bobcats and this young lady, and I don't have her name readily available, and I apologize for that. But yeah, it's things are looking good for Gilmer. They're going to be okay this year. Austin Damon, coming back after his Tommy John surgery, made his first appearance on the mound in a game, 5 pitches, and shut down the Indians and had 1 strikeout, as you said. Really, really great to see him back out there. I was at the game last year when the injury occurred, and Tommy John is the elbow. They have to go back through and they have to connect the ligaments there, and it's called Tommy John because that's the doctor that performs the surgery. Is Dr. John does that and does a great the original surgery. Jeff Andrews does the surgery. James Andrews. Thank you, Josh. Tommy John was the first person to suffer the injury. I got my mind twisted there for a second. So I really want to thank you, Josh, for bringing that up. But James Andrews does the surgery, and they reconnect the ligaments in here in the elbow and strengthen it up, and it's a very long recovery process. So, Austin Damon, it's an honor to see you back out there. It's a pleasure. I love watching you play ball. Great young man there, and wish him the best this year. Dave, do you have anything to add on that or want to go?
Well, yeah, no, I think that thanks for Josh, being there to pick you up, man. I mean, thank goodness we got him there. No, I mean, it's tough to bounce back from that. So it's great to see Austin, and being young, he certainly has youth in his corner to be able to recover from that. And I look forward to seeing more of that young man and what he's able to do on the mound this year for the Bobcats. What I want to do, Luther, is I want to bring Josh into the discussion. We've got a few minutes left here in this third quarter segment. Let's go ahead and get an update. We talked about maybe letting Josh talk for a couple minutes about spring training. We've got a couple minutes right here. Let's let Josh do his thing and chime in about what he saw from our Atlanta Braves as we keep with baseball and move up the ladder here a little bit. A lot of free agency stuff, of course, going on. A lot of folks know about Manny Machado and, of course, signing the $300 million 10-year deal with the Padres. And, of course, Bryce Harper looks like he's getting close maybe. I don't know. I hadn't even paid attention to it the last day or so. Maybe Josh can shed some light on that and what we can expect this year from our Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, well, I want to say one thing before we bring Josh in. Josh is definitely a great relief pitcher, and I'm glad he came in for the save there. So, Josh, thank you again. Talk a little bit about what you saw first with the Braves this weekend or this last week when you were down there. How are the pitchers and catchers looking? How's everybody feeling coming into the spring? Do we have any injuries or anything like that we need to worry about this year as Braves fans?
Well, there is a little bad news. Mike Soroka, which I gave you an update on last week, he's been set back a little bit. He's got a shoulder injury again, which is what put him on the DL last year. This is a different part of the shoulder, and they think it's just from overwork, like getting back into things, but it still is a little concerning that he's already having to rest that shoulder. Other than that, the rest of the pitchers and catchers have looked great. All spring, they're all excited to get going. They did a lot of workouts, working on bunting, doing things like that. The hitters all showed up early except for Markakis, I think. I believe he showed up the day he was supposed to. There's a good vibe around camp. they're not too upset about going out in the playoffs like they did last year. That's just motivation for them to come back stronger this year. A lot of Braves fans are upset that the Braves aren't spending a lot of money this offseason. They went out and got Donaldson and McCann, but some people don't feel like that's enough with all the big free agents that have been available. But the management has come out and said that they don't really see that those deals are going to help the Braves in the long run. I mean, it's hard to tie up that much money in somebody for 10 years. Even though they're only 26, you don't know what they're going to do for the next 10 years. And $30 million or more a year is a lot. So, but the Braves, they have gotten underway with their games. They started a couple days ago. They've dropped both of their games early on, but that doesn't really matter in the spring. People are good. Freddie Freeman hasn't even appeared yet, so I've seen some overreactions from Braves fans that we're already 0-2, but I don't see why that's a big deal in the spring. They're just getting warmed back up.
Yeah, well, and I agree with you on that, Josh. Preseason football, preseason basketball, baseball, whatever sport at the pro level, you're not wanting to get the wins. You're wanting to see what you've got. I've noticed in spring training, the Braves several years, they're known for their young players and their farm club. So that's the ones that, I see a lot of those young guys playing. You'll see the starters, the main, roster guys will come out and play 2 innings, and then your young guys will come in. You want to look at them and see. Now,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say, typically you only have 2 or 3 of your starters actually starting the game. It's usually the young guys early on. Right. And then as they start weeding those out and sending them to minor league camp, the late games, you start getting your actual starters in, and they'll play 5, 6, 7 innings instead of just 1 or 2.
Right.
So it's real hard to base anything off the first couple of games. Everybody's getting back in a rhythm. Hitters are trying to get their timing down. Pitchers are trying to get their pitches and their locations down. So I don't know. I'm just glad baseball's back.
Oh yeah, me too. I knew baseball season was coming up because it started raining. Sorry, I can't get my mind off the rain. And honestly, the off season for these guys, they're doing what they should be doing. And I know they still work out and have a regiment that they try to continue, so they don't gain 40 pounds and, get out there and, rip a hamstring or something the first time they jog the first. But they're doing what they should do. They're spending time with their families and enjoying life. And that's what they need to do. Because when baseball season starts, these guys know nothing but baseball. It's hard to really have any good quality family time. So, I would be the same way if I was fortunate enough to be in the pros, in the minor leagues, whatever. I would come out slow and get back to that full readiness, late in the preseason and get ready for that opening day. So, well, Josh, appreciate it. You have anything else you want to add or talk about with the Braves?
No, that's pretty much it for them.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you going down there. I know you go down every year and you get a lot of autographs and all that, but I appreciate you bringing back some information for us because, that's something I would not have known had you not brought it back to us. So I really appreciate that again.
Sure.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for segment number 3. Well, this hour's going by fast. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back after these messages and from our sponsors here and come back. We got a lot more action to go. You don't want to miss it.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ella, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World. Welcome back to the Instant Replay right here on FYNTV.com. I'm your co-host, Dave Garner. Thanks for joining us right here. Luther Kinsey, Josh Rosh, and myself, along with the rest of the team here, the Team FYN Sports crew. And we appreciate you guys joining us every Monday live from 10 to 11. But the show can be watched throughout the week and really anytime on demand by going on to FYNTV.com, selecting the On Demand tab, and there you have it. You can watch this show. So if you're not physically able to watch the show between the hours of 10 and 11 a.m. on Mondays, we certainly, understand that because Monday is a work day for most people. Folks are getting back into the swing of things. And so you can catch the information, though, later in the week, just an FYI to your friends and family. All right, as we enter our fourth and final quarter segment of the program today, I want to share a little soccer news with you. Atlanta United, leg one of the CONCACAF Championship, not going Atlanta's way as they lose to Herediano. I believe I pronounced that right. Herediano, I believe, 3-1. We fall. A lot of defensive lapses in that match. Leg two aggregate will be Thursday night. Again, the rematch in Atlanta. It'll take place at Kennesaw State, 8 p.m. on Thursday night. So, again, hopefully Atlanta United can win by a couple goals there and advance on to the quarterfinals. We told you up top today in the program, we talked a little bit about the race, Atlanta Motor Speedway, of course, race weekend. Brad Keselowski, of course, holding off Martin Truex Jr. One of our locals is going to have the opportunity to etch his name into the NASCAR books, if you will, here. Local driver from Jasper, from Pickens County, Chandler Smith, has signed with Kyle Busch Motorsports, where he will be driving 4 races this year in the NASCAR Truck Series. In addition to that, Chandler will be driving a full ARCA schedule. So congratulations. We've seen this coming for folks that know Chandler. Of course, he's a student at Pickens High School, but he is well on his way to a full-time NASCAR ride for sure. I mean, he has been at it ever since he was a young guy, a little guy, running the quarter midgets into the Bandoleros and late models and all that sort of stuff. But Chandler, again, moving on up the ranks. And, man, he is right there knocking on the doorstep of a big-time Cup ride, but he will run in Kyle Busch's truck series. He'll run his truck for 4 races this year he's scheduled, plus a full ARCA schedule. So he is right there where he needs to be, and he's like I said, a student trying to balance all that. Going on there, it's tough, but congratulations to Chandler and his family. We look forward to watching his progress over the next several years and on into the future, where he tries to join drivers of the likes of Chase Elliott from nearby Dawsonville and some of those other Georgia-born guys at the big level there. and it's going to be fun to watch. Before we jump into tennis, Luther, I want to get your thoughts on that. I mean, not necessarily just on Chandler, but of all the folks that we've talked about here today. We've talked about Chandler. We talked up top, several of our locals in North Carolina making their college choices known locally, even some sophomores and juniors getting a lot of attention. Always exciting. I think that's probably the best part of the job, is being able to watch these guys from a young age mature and grow. And I say guys, I mean guys and girls, of course, being able to make their way through the ranks, going through high school, working hard, going on to college. And of course, I'm old enough and been around long enough that I've seen kids that started out in middle school now back coaching here locally as well. And you know, they're having kids and they're starting to play ball. So it's crazy. But that's probably the most rewarding part of the job. What say you?
Oh, most definitely, Dave. Most definitely the most fun part of the job is watching these young men and young women mature and grow up and move on. Before I get into that, I do want to bring up one thing. Myself and Josh was talking during the break about Atlanta Legends. And he came up with a solution to being 0-2. The only players that have scored for the Atlanta Legend are Georgia Southern Eagles. Monte Crockett scored the touchdown in this past home game. Of course, in the previous game, Georgia Southern kicker was the only one that scored the field goals. You know, he was or scored with his field goals. So Josh is saying, if anybody from Atlanta Legends listening, or you know somebody in the high office, go out and get more former Georgia Southern Eagles. You know, that's just had to put that out there. Josh has got a plan for the Legend to get on winning track. Okay, back to the others. Yeah, you know, Chase Elliott coming from Dawsonville. Of course, Bill Elliott, his dad, you know, had a great career. Chase is picking up. His Daytona 500 was in. I think it came to an end on the last lap after a crash. So, you know, he was right there on the verge of, you know, really placing well in that. And, of course, you've got Chandler coming up, doing great. Anytime you see a young man like Chandler who, as you said, is balancing school as a full-time student and, you know, balancing the racing career and plus family time and all that, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, his focus, you can tell, just has to be spot on to be as good as he is in advancing his career while balancing the other in there. Because, you know, we know how hard it is to be a full-time student in high school. You know, it's pretty crazy. So look forward to, like you said, look forward to seeing him. Congratulations to him and his family. Across the board, everyone that signed, you know, this past week, couple weeks, those from Pickens, got some possible signings coming up from Gilmer here shortly. Rumors are that we have a baseball player and a football player that will be signing. It's not official yet from the school, but we've got a couple Gilmer guys that are really going to advance their careers at the next level across the board. And it is important, and I can say as an 18-year official in Georgia high school football, and umpired baseball and all the things I've done as far as an umpire in my life, you know, Brian McCann, Jeff Francoeur had the honor of umpiring them. Deshaun Watson, you know, came through Clemson, national champion and plays for the Houston Texans. You know, another young man that I had the honor of officiating, Martrez Milner, that used to play for the Atlanta Falcons, officiated him in high school. So seeing these young men and young women mature and move forward, I've experienced on a personal level from those athletes that I actually know very well and not someone I just cover, you know, became really good friends with them. And so it is very awesome. It's super awesome to see, and I love it. You know, I just love it. Maybe, let's get back into, I think you said tennis. Let's bring that back up. I'm going to send it back to you and let you lead the way.
All right, absolutely. Yeah, continuing with spring sports as we wrap up the show here today, some tennis news to pass along. Of course, Dawson and Gilmer going at it recently. Gilmer beating Dawson back on the 18th. The Tigers of Dawson will travel to North Forsyth, or they did travel to North Forsyth, last week, and they came away with wins. So the boys, again, 4 matches to 1, and the girls winning 3 matches to 2. Again, 5 matches with the 3 singles and the 2 doubles matches for those that are new, again, to the sport of high school tennis and how it's scored there. Going back to that Gilmer-Dawson matchup, though, Gilmer, you know, they had several state folks last year that qualified. Gilmer's tennis team's looking pretty good. The singles with the win over Dawson, the Gilmer singles winners, Lauren Cole, she fell in that one. Sarah Sheehan lost, but Morgan White won in straight sets. And then on the double side, there are a pair of doubles wins for Gilmer. Reese and Walker and Teague and Contley winning there. The exhibition match saw Cole and Walker win. And then on the boys' side, Brett Becker with the win. Carter Heiss with a win at 2 singles, and Tripp Pierce with a win as well. So all 3 singles matches winning there. And then on the doubles, story the same for Gilmer. They took both of those. Luke and Mason, and Rylan and Corbin Singleton with the win there. Exhibition, Caden and Isaac with the win as well. So the boys with a sweep over Dawson last week. But again, things still very early in the high school tennis season. We're going to talk more about tennis, soccer getting cranked up as well, golf, track and field. I know that Pickens has a meet, I believe, on Wednesday at West Forsyth. So, again, a lot of stuff cranking up this week and over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully the weather will hold off for us so we can get some of these things in so we don't have such a log jam with the schedule there. But it's always a fun time of year. Luther, I want to throw it back to you. I'll end the show, I guess, but I want to get it back to you and Josh for your final thoughts and comments on what's been an action-packed hour today.
Yeah, Dave, it has. It's been a great hour. I hope we've got everything covered. I do want to say real quick, and you may have gotten it, and I may have just went brain dead for a second. Pickens Lady Dragons soccer team went to the Lakeshore Shootout in Alabama and went 2-1 on the weekend. So great job by those ladies. Gilmer Soccer also had a win this past week as well for the Lady Cats. So great job to those. It's been a good week for basketball. It's been a rainy week for baseball, but all that's over. I'm looking forward to great weather. We've got a bunch of baseball to bring you next week because with makeup games and regular schedule games and all that, we will be all over it and covering it to the best of our ability. If you're in one of our counties and you're not seeing a whole lot of coverage on Fetcher News, please, and you want to cover sports, please contact us at info@fetchernews.com and show your interest in that. And either BKP or our general manager, Sam Cates, will contact you and let you know more about what we do. You know, you get in free to the ball games, take pictures, write an article, get paid. You know, it's fun. It gets you in the ball games. You really get to enjoy, being there. Josh, you have any final thoughts on what your expectations for the Braves will be this year at the end of the season?
It's gonna be an uphill battle this year. It's gonna be tough. Looks like the Phillies might be the front runner to get Bryce Harper. They already got JT Realmuto and a few other big names this offseason. So I don't know. The NL East just got a lot more competitive. Should be a good year though.
Well, good deal. All right, well, Dave, I think that's going to do it from the studio. Let's send it back to you and let you close it out.
All right, great job today, guys. Appreciate y'all being with us. Appreciate you guys at home or work or wherever you may be logging in, watching this week's edition of the Instant Replay. That's going to wrap things up for us. Great show. Talked a lot about high school baseball and tennis today. Also, state basketball again next week. We will have a recap of the Dawson Tigers and Lady Tigers as they compete in the Elite Eight. And also, of course, all of our future signings, anything that takes place as far as our next level segments or taking it to the next level, changing of the guard, any coaching news, anything that happens, we will go ahead and take care of that for you right here, because if it happens in North Georgia, we're all over it. Again, just a reminder, anytime you have any information to share with us, please do so by emailing us at teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. We are here to share sports news that happens in our local area here in North Georgia, North Central Georgia, a lot of different areas that we represent. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you same time, same place next week right here on the Instant Replay. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see you next time.